And we are back. Welcome everybody to Toy Box Chronicles, America's Toys podcast. We are coming at you live right now, but pre-recorded for you when you see this. I am Chet and Alex, your lovely, gorgeous host, along with somebody that has to probably be more gorgeous than I am, Mr. Alexander Storm, the toy broker. How are you doing this fine evening, my friend?
What's going on? What's going on? It's the night before Thanksgiving, and I
Went all
know
through the
people thought
house.
they were like, "Hey, man, is there going to be a Toy Box Chronicles?" Not to disappoint, there's always a Toy Box Chronicles. Just even if we're live, but I'm sure one of us, myself or Chad or somebody, will be live in the chat for you guys. So it'll be
Oh,
like
yeah.
we're live, but not live.
That is correct. One of us will be there. We're excited to have you here. We want to remind you before we get in to the craziness of Toy Box Chronicles, we appreciate you stopping by. We're excited you're here. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and click that notification bell because we've noticed, okay, that YouTube has decided to start unchecking that for people, which is very nice of them. However, it's how you know that we post our things for you to enjoy because, you know, being America's toy podcast, we find it very offensive when you don't get notified that we are putting the best damn show out for you, period. We've got a great show for you today. We are going over some of the biggest toys that we're thankful for. We are going to leave some out, but hey, that's what conversation's for. Post in the comments. We're going to pin our favorite toy in the comments field. We are inviting you to sit back, relax, listen to the woes of toys, the favorites of toys, and everything else that you could think of about toys. Mr. Storm, this is Toy Box Chronicles. Let's roll it. And just like that, we're back, sir. Welcome. How are you doing?
Hey, doing all right, man. You know what? If you haven't been impressed with our actual countdown, because we had the generic one and we've worked on this one. The guys behind the scenes really do kind of like kick butt in our new intros and everything that you see. There's even an actually cool outro that we have that we're going to premiere tonight as well. So those are the type of hard work things that we do behind the scenes. But you know what also, Mr. Maddox?
What's that?
Ah, man, it is one of those situations where you just got to enjoy the whole thankfulness of the show. But it's from nation to nation, coast to coast, from our toy rooms to your living rooms. This is Toy Box Chronicles, episode number 43. That's right, 43, and going strong, baby.
40.
2024 was the year, my friend, was it not?
It was. Think about that. 43 episodes of What If.
Yep.
We decided, we saw that there was no good toy podcast happening. It was boring. People didn't know what they were doing. There needed to be a production behind it.
Yep.
And we said, hey, if no one's doing it, we know we can. And so here we are, 43 episodes later, thousands and thousands of people watching live all the time. We appreciate it. Yeah, sir. And you know why we are from coast to coast, from our rooms to theirs, right? I mean, what else do you do if you're America's Toy Podcast, right? That's
I
just
know.
You don't. That's what you do. What do we want to do today? Because we got people waiting and hanging out, and I'm sure there's some crazy comments happening. But how do we get into this?
Well, you know what? Since it's the night before Thanksgiving, I'm sure everybody's probably in the process of cooking or basically trying to wind down from the work week and just trying to enjoy the 4-day weekend that everyone's going to get. And I hope you enjoy every ounce of that 4-day weekend because we know since we are America's the toy podcast and we're going to keep reusing that tonight. We know you work hard in America, so hopefully you're going to get some relaxation for these 4 days and everything. Family's not going to drive you crazy. But we got some we thought we were going to do a toy Thanksgiving, kind of like what are we thankful for all the great companies out there, the great lines and everything. So we're just going to give you our humble opinion of what we're thankful for. Now you can have an actual thankful thought, and if you do have that, pop those down in the actual comment section and let us know, like, was there something that you thought this year was extremely well and you were thankful that they actually made, or obscure character that they finally brought to the forefront? We definitely want to hear that. But I'm gonna do the thankful thing of the year. First of all, I'm gonna run with thankful for Toy Box Chronicles. 2024 is the year of Toy Box Chronicles, our first year going on. 2025 will be season number 2, so I'm looking forward to that. But let's start off with Chet. What items of the year were you thankful for this year, my friend?
Well, I believe that we have some assets, right?
We do. We do. Well, it wouldn't be Toy Box Chronicles in a high production that we are if we didn't.
That is
So
true.
we
Well,
are premiering his actual thankful Chet's 2004 Toy Thankful list. That's what's going on.
yeah, that is correct. For those of you that don't know, I think I have everything in here except for I think one car, no, two cars.
Okay.
But I do have the complete first series 1 of Mask, including Boulder Hill, which I did get from one of the new members of SKN, and that is Mr. KS Collectibles. Richard, thank you so much for supplying me with probably one of the best looking Boulder Hills I've ever run across.
Yes.
I do want the box, but the box is hard to find, and the prices right now are a little crazy for me. But this is something I'm super thankful for. I appreciate being able to actually do this collection. It was a big part of my childhood. I love these toys. I think they're innovative for the time. I'm sad they're going to get destroyed by a new company coming out with them. However, that's why I wanted to collect it ahead of time. So we have a Mask. If you've never seen it, go watch it. Mr. Storm informs me that it's on Tubi all the time. I did find it on YouTube. Hey, look, it's great. I'm not gonna talk about whether or not season 2 or anything after season 1 is good. But I will tell you that if you just watch it, it's got a cool premise. I loved it. I'm glad I got these. I have every figure I think that they've created, which was fantastic. And then the Ramen Racer.
Ace.
I know that you and I have talked about this for a long time. Like Ace, you're a gentleman and a scholar. This is one of my all-time favorite things that I have in my collection. It's back here. You can see it lit up over here somewhere when the camera's not so short. However, I have one, and Mr. Storm has one. And what's great is that, like, when I've gone to your house and I saw it, I was like, that's freaking cool. And it's like, well, I have the same shit in my house, and it's completely different. So I'm really excited about this, man. I think this also has paved the way for what we're seeing later, which we'll talk about in the future. But this is probably one that I was excited to get. There's a backstory behind it for me that I hold dear to my heart, which is kind of a private thing. But I'm glad that I got it. I appreciate it, Ace and family. Thank you again.
The thing that I like about the Ramen Racer, though, and this is because initially it was there was some other vehicle that some company failed to make and everything, and then Ace picked up the slack and did it. But the thing that I love about the Ramen Racer, and I had to, because I saw your list, I didn't have this on mine because I felt like we don't need to double list it, and I'll just throw mine onto yours. But we both displayed this 2 completely different ways.
Yeah.
And you're running with the Robbie Reyes kind of like Dodge Charger kind of look, flame on fire kind of situation.
Yep.
And mine is running to the Blade film, which actually now Blade, thanks to Mr. Maddox, Blade is actually in the actual Ramen Racer now, because no other character's butt was going to get in that seat, but it was going to be Blade. So he's
awesome.
in there. So I love how you can, like, whether your style or whatever you want to do, you can display this car in alternate modes, and it's just appropriate. And I think the thing it doesn't look like my version of the ramen racer. It doesn't look like your version of the ramen racer. We can both appreciate it. That's very rare that you can do that from a toy. Is have different modes, different versions, and kind of like. And at one point, you never know. I might actually switch it to the Engine of Vengeance, and you can switch it over to whatever you want to do. You can switch it to a fast or kind of furious kind of thing, or whatever you want to do. You can change it to it.
Yeah. No, it's great. I love this. I think this is one of my favorite pieces.
Yeah.
And then up next, I was excited to get my hands on Galactus. I'm a massive Galactus fan. Those of you that know me, I have Galactus on my hand. Granted, it's Scotty Young version, but I do love Galactus. You can see him right here, but I haven't finished the setup. I'm still unpacking. For those of you that don't know, I just moved, figuring that out. But I did go through and collect a bunch of stuff for the Fantastic Four, kind of like Diorama. I have Fin Fang Foom. I have Dragon Man. I think I have almost every Fantastic Four character. There's a few other that I need to get my hands on to kind of like set that up. But I'm excited about that. And then obviously off to the right here, you see Scratch 1993. This has been something that I wanted to get a hold of for years, and I finally have it, and he's right back here displayed in a case. I do not have the accessories. I've thought about buying the repops, but I've been able to find some of the original ones. It's just that everyone wants like $150 to $200 per thing, and it's like, that's, to me, that I'm cool, because ultimately at the end of the day, I'll find someone that has a completed one that needs money. So,
now I'm saying this is the version from the Paula Abdul movie, right?
Yes, this is him. Yeah, that is correct. That is the Paula Abdul version.
That is the running joke that we always have over here, is that looks a lot like that cat from Opposite Attracts. So, I wonder if which came before, Scratch or Opposite Attracts. So
I don't know. We gotta find out.
Let's do some
I'll do some research. Yeah,
do some diving. Well, while he's doing that research and everything, and that's a good listen. Look, one of the main things we want to stress to everyone is that, this is about, while it's a toy show, it's about being thankful. This is time of the year that also, it's not just about toys. Thankful for your loved ones around you. Thankful for all the people and the time and the place and the efforts that they give you. We're thankful for all of our viewers that tune in. Everybody that makes a comment, lets us know on Instagram or over on X or any of the other social media platforms that you just take the time to watch us. So we're always thankful of that. Thankful of our loyal viewers. Did you find out what year?
1988.
Okay, so
this was definitely a ripoff from that cat.
Might be a little validity in
I mean, it's legitimately a ripoff from that cat.
So we're gonna roll with my thankful list, and my thankful list is rolling. So this is Alexander Storm's 2024 Toy Thankful List. Oh, it was a year, my friend. They gave me some characters that I did not think I would see, and I'm so happy to them. And this is one of the few parts where Marvel Legends, I've heard they got it up until 2026. Disney, what are you doing? Extend this, because these guys are on fire. Well, they gave me something that, again, I didn't think I was going to see. Iron Fist and Luke Cage, and these are the definitive versions of these characters. They've had others before, but like when I think about the 2000 versions of these characters through Marvel Comics, and ones especially drawn by the great Sanford Green, yes, Sanford Green, I look at these characters, I'm like, wow, the Luke Cage is fantastic. I know a lot of people didn't like Iron Fist in the TV show, but guess what? There's a chance he might be back. Iron Fist and Luke Cage actually might do another Hero for Hire hookup on the old Disney Plus over there. But this was just one, and yes, they're displayed in that same pose. Whoever posed those over in the Marvel photography partner over at Hasbro, you did a great job, man. Great job, because that's exactly when I saw those characters, I'm like, it has to look like this. It has to look like this. And then from there, if you're going to give us a definitive version of Luke Cage and Iron Fist, well, up until this point, there hadn't been a definitive Jim Lee Punisher War Journal look, and Marvel Legends gave that to him. And look, this is the book that I started off reading when I was like, just looking for like what's different. I wasn't into superheroes and everything. And the funny thing about it is a high school teacher actually introduced me to the Punisher because he read the Punisher and he was like, "Oh no, you should check this out. I don't read comics; they're for kids." And he was like, "No, you'll be surprised about this one." And it sent me down the honesty of like I got on the bandwagon when Jim Lee first started to get onto those books, and I have a lot of his run, and I'm extremely thankful. But I did not have a character that matched Jim Lee's artistic style with an actual 3D representation sitting on the shelf. Well, now I have that, and I actually have it. This is from the Acts of Vengeance. If you haven't read those series in the Punisher War Journal, they're worth reading. Carl Protz was the writer, Jim Lee was the artist, Scott Williams was the inker, and that's Bushwhack, and he's a very abnormal character, but it worked well. There's a great photo of like the Punisher riding on a motorcycle and going up against a great look. So this was one of those things I was extremely thankful I had the definitive Jim Lee version of the Punisher, and I'm looking forward to. They want to do any more? I'm fine.
Well, what's crazy is these were also on my list, but I already knew that you were putting these. So again, and not to double it, but I remember when they announced Luke Cage and Iron Fist, you know, like holy shit, and we both got them at the same. Because unlike a lot of people, I enjoyed both of these shows on Netflix. But I took them for what they were supposed to be. I know there's a lot of backlash about Danny Rand and like how they portrayed him, but that came from a majority of people that had never read a comic in their life. And when these came out, I was like, man, this is fantastic. And then they hit us with the Punisher, and the Punisher is one of my all-time favorites. And I have a few very key Punisher figures. I have a old Marvel Legends European version where he had the Red Skull. Then I have the Walgreens one, which is very hard to get. And then I have another version. On top of that, I actually also have Venom Punisher, which is a figure that I love. And so this, I was like, man, and I'm with you. Like, I'm not as big of a fan of Jim Lee as you are, but I'm a fan of Jim Lee because I appreciate what he's done for the industry is in terms of like the art process. And I awkwardly love Bushwhacker.
No, he's a great figure as well. He's one of those consolation prizes when you get it. Like normally you could have just got a Punisher, but they added like a comic accurate version. And it just the minute I saw that, it was like, oh, it took me to the days of going to a comic book store and picking those up. And I remember the Acts of Vengeance series, and that was the first time I saw the character Bushwhack. I was like, who is this character, and why is the Punisher going up against him? But Jim Lee did a great job. Great accessories with this character as well. Luke Cage and also Iron Fist have great accessories too. The accessory game came up for Marvel Legends this year. I will give them credit for that.
Yeah, big time.
So then we're going to go on to the next one. Okay, another Marvel Legends. Marvel Legends is ruling. This was the year of Marvel Legends. Look, again, if you were a fan of the Jim Lee era, well, there was an artist named Javier Sarteris that drew one of the best versions of Ghost Rider. This was the interversion. I think it was Volume 2. Danny Rat was the first character. Well, no, Johnny Blaze. Then it was Danny Ketch. So this bike, this is the version of I wasn't in the 70s when Johnny Blaze was rolling around with the Harley Davidson look. This was the version that I remember seeing. I also remember that Todd McFarlane and the actual Spider-Man book, not Amazing Spider-Man, but his own series Spider-Man, he drew this with the motorcycle too, and that's an iconic look as well. And to have the flame effects, to have the bike, and the bike's extremely accurate. Ghost Rider looks fantastic. You can put them in different poses. The bike can move in different positions. This was just an overall great deluxe figure. The box is amazing as well. So I got to give, again, Marvel Legends, you guys are ruling the year. I am a GI.JOE Classified, but man, I've been a Marvel Legend guy this year. It's really worked. I'm also going to say like this was the thing, and not so much for the Sentinel, but the made to order mindset over at Hasbro.
Oh yeah, I'm with you on this.
The made to order mindset was the
Yep.
thing that changed this year, especially when you're dealing with, like, from all the HasLabs, which are highly expensive. And we're going to run about something about a HasLab a little later on tonight as well, just as a tease. But this was one where you're not spending HasLab money. You're not doing it because I know a lot of people were a little bit upset about the Giant Man kind of issues and QC issues.
Yeah.
And and this is one where it's like, look, from Dragon Man, when they first introduced that with Dragon Man, I thought, okay, we're just going to make a limited amount of these figures, you pre-order, and we're not going to take this money up front. We're going to only charge you when it ships, which, everybody's having debating about HasLabs because mostly they're over 250 or more. And when that money comes out, you're waiting the entire year. That's kind of a little bit of it, even though it's kind of gone away. And when it pops up, it's good, but you're sweating trying to come up with something that you're not going to see for a year. This
Yep.
made from Dragon Man to the Sentinel to whatever they're going to do next year. They need to keep this mindset. I think it's very smart. It's very easy on the pocketbooks. This version of the Sentinel is 4 or 5 inches shorter than the actual version of the HasLab one, but
Yeah.
it's equally big. It's nice. I love that it's X-Men 97. This was the first time I didn't get it on the Sentinel for the HasLab because I'm just not that big of an X-Men fan, but the price was worth this. And the thing of not taking it out at the end of the year, I thought that was extremely smart. So bravo to Hasbro. Keep that mindset going. We want to see a lot more made to order mindset figures coming from you.
And I would like to say that this is still live as of the time of this recording, which is the 26th. But by the time you see this, it won't be. So me saying make sure you order it now is kind of pointless, but you should have probably ordered it. I do want to thank you, though, because I have only pre-ordered one so far. And I did pre-order 4 previously. And so I'm debating by the end of today whether or not I up it to 2. And the reason why is because I think it would look rad set up with another one and the X-Men 97, because I also got in the Comic-Con exclusive X-Men 97 cards. So I'm really debating, and that's a conversation we're going to have when this is done. But yeah, thank you for pointing this out because these two were also something that I was I was super excited for.
Really, like some smart thinking. I hope I see that more across the other Hasbro lines.
Mm-hmm.
We'll roll with, okay, I'm a G.I. Joe fan.
It's like we have the same brain, my friend.
Everybody knows I'm a G.I. Joe, huge G.I. Joe, this whole damn display for it and everything, vintage and all that. G.I. Joe is one of my favorite brands. And I remember I wanted Starduster since I was a kid. He was exclusive Melloway. You had to eat the G.I. Joe Star cereal, and my mom was a very health nut, and it was like that was not happening. That cereal was not coming in the house. And I missed out on Starduster, and I wanted Starduster was the elusive figure I could not have. Well, when they said they were putting it for classified, and I heard that tease, and I was like, "Oh no, I don't care what I have to move heaven and hell for this. Starduster's coming to my house." This figure, and I know he's like a Duke retread. Everybody always talks about the thing, and there's a great SoCal Joe Show custom version that's floating out there. So if you haven't seen that one, that's a custom, and it's a limited amount of figures out there. And I wasn't attending, and I wasn't even out here for the SoCal show Joe shows when they were happening, when that was happening. But our good friend Scott Solo over at the Sorlak Digest podcast worked on that one too. So, but I couldn't pass this up. He's a great figure. I love all the accessories and everything. This was just one of the better figures of the year. I'm happy to have him. He brings back nothing but childhood nostalgia. And then the banger, you waited a year for it, but man, when it came, now I've heard some people had complaints. I don't know what they're thinking about, because sometimes you can't please all the people all the time. But let me tell you something, Mr. Storm is pleased. You can see it up in the top of the rafters, right there. The G.I. Joe HasLab 2023's version, Dragonfly. All the characters are fire. I know people were kind of complaining about Galinda. And, Galinda's fantastic. Crazy Legs is great. Ripcord's great. Wild Bill is fantastic. all the accessories and everything that it has, rockets, the stands, the stickers, it is the complete kind of scenario to do out of GI Joe. And in fact, because of that mindset and bringing, I believe I converted Mr. Maddox over to the classified line, because I remember he wasn't right in there, and I kind of pushed and everything. I even sent him some figures from California all the way to Georgia. Now it makes sense. I could have saved some postal stuff since you're here, but
Maybe, but we didn't know. We didn't know.
we didn't
And
know. But
I
just
will go on record here saying that you definitely are the one that got me to switch over to doing classified. However, you and I are very opposite, because I do strictly minus Starduster and maybe a few others. I mostly collect the Cobra line.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't really do the offshoots. I kind of just like the pure Cobra line. I think my next figure I'm supposed to be getting is For Profit Destro.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just recently got the Commander Cobra retro card back. We went to Frankensons, found that actually for the exact cost that it was.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I mean, you definitely got me over to that, and I appreciate it. But also, sucks because it's more money. I do have Starduster as well, and I don't have the Dragonfly. I'm on edge about that, but I do have the Rattler coming. So
and I do too. Yeah, that was one where let me tell you something. They up the line. They do a great job over there. I love most of the stuff they do. Always a vision. It's the GI Joe HasLabs, from the hits tank to this. There's always something when you're getting out of the box that impresses you a little bit more. And every time it is like, anytime somebody comes over and they're in the office or something, and they'll be like, okay, wow, it's just like that's pretty cool. And it's like, it's impressive. Well, the Dragonfly even takes up even more than that. And it's just, lighting and all the effects. Great job, Hasbro. I'm thankful for the Dragonfly. It came right before Christmas. It came right before Thanksgiving too. So it gives me extra point of being thankful. I cannot wait to see the Rattler show up next year. It's anticipating, and it's like I almost wish it was there so I could just open up and see it. So we're gonna roll into the next one. Now, here's the thing. Since you saw Mr. Maddox's vintage collection, and he kind of got me into this, because I had a lot of vehicles and Joes when I was a kid. But there's something special about going back and getting some of the retro stuff. Every now and then you'll be at a convention or something and be like, you know what, I actually want the scale that I was birthed with. And it's like I said, I had the opportunity to pick up the Wolverine at a great price. And here's the thing, right now it says at the bottom, it says Alex Storm, the toy broker. I'm gonna give you a little broken advice right here. Some of these vintage items are out there and they're not astronomically expensive. There's a couple of, like, the Holy Grail, the flag and everything. You're not going to get the flag for $100. Get that out of your mindset. But there's a couple of some of the vehicles, some of the actual loose characters and everything, even some of the card backs. You can find some of these extremely easy, and they're just as satisfying as buying some of the classified lines. So I've been going back into the vintage, but I was able to get the Wolverine and CoverGirl, and both of them are very mint in great condition.
Yeah,
And then
you have fantastic ones.
Mr. Maddox actually sent me the Conquest just out of the blue. I was like, the box showed up and there was like a fully complete one in there, and then I had to track down the pilot, and actually Sons and Pops Collectibles at the Jimmy Toy Show in Whittier. Thank you so very much. He had a clean one. This is where I like to do the joke where, sometimes meeting people on Facebook Marketplace is not a bad thing. Because he has a great shop over there along with his brother, who has Iconic Collectibles. So if you guys are in Whittier on a Sunday, go and check those guys out. They got a lot of great vintage stuff, but I was able to get Slipstream with it. So it's fully complete and was just a great thing. So some of these vintage vehicles, you would be surprised that are really attainable to get. And then last but not least, it surprised me. I didn't think these were going to be good lines. I remember when I first saw the first couple of ones, I was like, okay. But they kind of grow on you. The Transformer collabs. I don't know what it is, but they've done it with TMNT. They've done it with Ghostbusters. They've done it with GI Joe. This is my favorite version of it. Is Cup, and you come in changing it to the Triple T tank, along with Leatherneck, and of course the OG Sergeant Slaughter. If you don't feel patriotic by that, nothing on America's Best Toy Podcast will make you feel more than that. Than basically Sergeant Slaughter. We've actually got to get him on the show one night and have him do the Yo-Joe for us.
That's true.
But this is a great one right now. And then the surprise one, because I saw it, I'm a big fan of, the 80s was the 80s, man. Now they do an 18 van one, I'm buying that definitely. But this was Knight Rider. And actually, I didn't even know how well this was, actually, because I gave it over to Chet to do an amazing toy review. And if you have not checked that on the channel, you should definitely check that short out because it's fantastic. But he exposed all the great features, all the talking points and everything else. Agent Knight is a fantastic collab. He is still available out there on Amazon if you're looking for him. So it's just great. These are all the things that I'm thankful for, and just a great year. I love the feeling of when something pleasantly surprises you and you brings you a little extra joy, because I think that's what we're doing. We do the extra joy. These items are certain times obviously luxury items, but they just put smiles on your face. You feel just every now and then you walk by a shelf or you walk by a display case or something of them, and you just feel good about that.
Yeah. Speaking of, I think someone's trying to show us something right now.
Really? Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
I wonder what that's going on.
What's up, nerds? Scott Sola from the Sarlacc Digest podcast, invading
Toy Box Chronicles.
And I'm looking at the right camera this time. Hey, that's fun. To talk about a figure that I am most thankful for, and that is Operation Monster Force Dracula. And why am I thankful for this figure? Well, not only is it freaking Dracula, because that's awesome, but I created the logo for Operation Monster Force for Fresh Monkey Fiction. Did the Big Bad Workshop logo, too, for Big Bad Toy Store. But, yes, I am very thankful for this figure. You want to open them up? Let's check them out. Really cool feature is all the figures come with kind of a little comic book page right there. Very, very cool. All right, let's open this sucker up. It's the first time any of my work has ever been actually on an action figure. I've done comic book covers before, but I got to tell you, this is something special about working on an action figure and having it be Dracula. That's just rad. All right, let's go ahead and pull this sucker out. Here we go. No instructions in there. That's cool. Oh, he does have some twist ties. Backdrop. Ooh, look at that. Oh, I can't wait to get into that. Let's get Dracula out of here. Comes with an alternative head. Look at that. Arrgh. Now, you can normally catch our 1-minute toy reviews on the Sarlacc Digest podcast feed, but I'm working with Alex and the gang, Shadow Nose Network, because they are the coolest MFers that don't cover Star Wars. Chet, Dr. Brantley, and all those badass mofos. Oh, wait, I threw down the package. There were hands in there. Don't do that. What the hell, man? I think of myself as a professional. Here we go. All right. Hands. Figure. All right, so we've got Dracula's cuts a very imposing figure right there. Love the detailing in his face and the paint apps. Very cool. Great 6-inch figure. Articulation-wise, he's got neck. It is ball-jointed. Shoulders. Biceps. This is going to make me nervous. I don't want to break a figure. Double-jointed elbows. Yes, there we go. Double-jointed elbows. Cool. And wrist articulation. Shoulders are also butterfly jointed in there, so they get a little bit of extra action. Torso, if it is articulated, it's just a twist, because the vest right here is a hard plastic. Detailing on the vest, too, is very cool. There's nice paint apps in there. Awesome. I love this figure. Hips are articulated, as are the thighs. The thighs twist. There we go. Like so. And we've got double-jointed knees. There we go, double-jointed knees. His shins also, and ankle rocker. Very, very cool. Check out all these added features. We've got a angry fangs exposed head. I love the pointy ears. I didn't notice his pointy ears. Yep, there they are. Very cool. That's great. All right, we also have some additional hands right here. I'll pose this sucker out pretty nicely on my display. Unfortunately, I could only afford one set of these figures. Really wanted to keep a set sealed just so I could have my logo on display somewhere, but it's not meant to be. All right. What else does he come with, you might ask? Well, he comes with a Ziploc bag. Don't have to tear that sucker open. Just open it nicely. He comes with a sword. Check that out. That's really freaking cool. Love the detailing. Love the dragon wings on there. Because, of course, Dracula means dragon. Ooh, look at that. The pommel's also got a dragon on. Ah, it's freaking awesome. Okay, set that aside. It's much longer than a 1-minute review. This is kind of reminiscent of a tombstone. That is very nice. But, of course, it is a figure stand like so. And look at that. Look at that logo. Ah, it's so cool. So happy with that. So, yeah, let's pose him out. Head pops off pretty easily. He pops right back on there like so. Come on, get on there, man. Ah, there we go. All right. That is awesome. All right, let's pose him out now. Ah, check him out. That is a very cool figure. Stand fits perfectly. Figure is awesome. I am so excited to finally have these in hand. It's only been for friggin' ever. It took forever to get these things made. But that's it. So, yeah, I am most thankful for the Operation Monster Force Dracula figure for many reasons. That's it, everybody. Thanks for letting me join in here tonight for this toy review. And as always, my friends, keep it nerdy.
How did he just jump in like that?
I don't know. But we love our Sorlac Digest podcast, brothers. And I got to tell you, Fresh Monkey Fiction, they're doing some things with the Operation Monster Force. And
also, you know what?
They use Scott's logo.
You know what? I got to say, I know that all of us have been kind of weary, and I don't care what you guys say about Scott. I actually think I really like that guy.
Yeah, man. No, it was, a pleasant surprise, but no, if there's anything to be thankful for, your logo on an actual brand toy line. And I'm hoping to see the Fresh Monkey Fiction guys at the SoCal Joe show on December 8th this year.
They'll be there, or they'll be square.
Yeah, I know. So I'm looking forward to that. But of course, again, these are all these other things. So, so rudely interrupted. Wow, man. I guess we'll have all the other scenarios that we should be thankful for. So let's move. Let's get back to Toy Box Chronicles. We've done Starlight Digest podcast reviews. So, boom. Okay, so toys to be thankful for. All the others, and this is a quick one, but not too bad. Look, we have been begging, pleading, dragging, or whatever.
Wondering.
Yeah, just almost and just wishing and praying at the last point of this. For Hugh Jackman, one, to be on the screen in comic accurate colors. Yep. Two is to have an actual Hugh Jackman figure that we think is worthy of his look. And Marvel Legends did it. And number one, and also Ryan Reynolds, you did it. So for the best film of 2024 and probably the highest grossing film of 2024, to one of the better figures. If you don't have this figure in your collection, you're going to want it, because even though I heard Hugh Jackman sticking around, but you're just going to want to document like one of the better just looking figures from an actual, and this is not Mezco or any other major company. This is Marvel Legends, and that character looks pretty accurate towards Hugh Jackman. Great job, guys.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite figures.
Yeah, it is. And then we'll roll into, well, now how can we not give out a couple of key things? First of all, now I didn't purchase Olden, but I do know somebody that did purchase them. And he is a massive and an amazingly detailed figure. But Chet, you have him in your possession. I'll let you go over and get the specs and the rundown for this.
Yeah, I mean, he's bulky, and there's going to be an unbox of him soon. There would have been an unbox of him a lot sooner, but I was in the process of moving. So once I get everything out and I have everything set up to be able to pull, we have a lot of, I mean, I have almost close to 100 figures that we have to unbox. But look, he's massive. He actually almost weighs, I think he might actually weigh a little bit more than the Hulkbuster.
Wow.
So he's a good looking figure, man. He's fantastic. Yeah.
No, they did a good job on that. And then one is like, look, I'm a sucker for some of the characters that I know, like my father and grandfathers grew up on, and I always loved Luke Cage. This was the Marvel Legends gave us an accurate version of the '70s one. Headband off. If you actually watched that actual first season of the Netflix show, there is one scene where Luke Cage is actually dressed in that kind of outfit and everything else
Yep.
too. But whenever I think of the early days of how Luke Cage looked before his transition now, this is how I see Luke Cage. So this was a great one, and it just puts a smile on the face. It has that nostalgia feeling of it, you know?
Yeah, he's great.
So then we'll roll it through, and this was the thing. Now we talked about this. Now
We
again,
did.
if you ever watched the first miniseries of the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, there's a certain scene where they actually are walking around, and it never made sense to me how no one noticed they were turtles without hats on and everything. But they rolled up to April's Channel 6, and they were in this. And for years, they had never had an actual look at these turtles. Well, they decided to actually do that, and that's through a company that we will no longer name due to the travesty that they done. But when it initially came out, I said, "Yeah, I wanted this," and then I heard the price, and I was like, "150? No, I'm good on that, bro." Like,
Yeah.
nah, man, it was way too much, and immediately we started debating on like how well would this sell, and this was to that NECA Holothon that they did, and
Trash.
a mess here in Southern California. I know that there's a great video of Chet on the channel that was tracking that down, but that was nothing but a mess here. Like, and by the time it was all said and done, it was way after Holothon. Then you started seeing these, like, pegworm on
Yeah.
every target imaginable.
Yeah, they're definitely pegworm. I have the original pack, but we did get in debate of like, hey, this would be cool to have as like a 2-pack, right? And
Yeah,
it is important to note that there are some differences in the 2-packs versus buying
yeah,
all 4 of them. But the reality is like, I mean, you're not going to get certain head sculpts. The colors of the jackets are a little bit different, or a lot different in some cases. But at the end of the day, 150, it's not even, it's like, what is that, 369? It's like, it's more than like $30 a character.
yeah.
I mean, I guess you could say that you have all of the like accessories and everything.
Hmm.
I'm a fan of the Turtle Punks. I think it's funny that there are
Oh
action
yeah.
figures of them though, because
Hmm.
they were in one episode
Yeah.
for like a minute and then
Yeah.
never again. I love the original versions of these by Playmates.
Yeah.
So this was great, but I will say that I have decided to kind of like pull back on collecting from this company.
Yes.
And I there's a very specific line of turtles that I will collect, but I'm not a fan of what's going on right now with
Yeah.
that. And so
And look, we're thankful for having, like, these characters pop up, but I think that everyone else would be thankful for the $59 price tag for the 2 packs of these turtles, because 150 was just a little bit astronomical.
yeah, it's out
And
of reach.
yeah, I think just to put that in, especially to do it at a holothon, and those things are always a mess. And it's just one of those things where I think that they could have done better. And that leaves us into the point of one, and I will say one last one to is going to shape. And we've had the creator, or one half of the creators on the show,
Yeah.
and this is one of those where you're going to say that it's to be thankful, but thankful that you can pre-order this now. But this will be something next year that you're going to be really thankful for when you get it. And it is the Bandito. And let me tell you something from Odd Frog Entertainment. There's a couple of things. This is a customizable vehicle, and it's a muscle car. All right. It has lights. It has the full dash, the radio, all the rest of the stuff. It looks fantastic. But this is meant for all the toy photographers or customizers out there to have a chance to actually go over this, take it, play with it, do what you want, and reimagine it in your own style. And that's the one thing that Kelly told us from Odd Frog. And then the other aspect that I will give people this is that this was probably one of the best priced vehicles I've seen in the 112 line. They had these kind of accessories, and the added fact is free U.S. continental shipping. That's unheard of, bro. Normally you buy something like this, it's additional $50, $60 extra on the pricing. But you're going to be able to change the Bandito to all different looks, all different colors, all different engine platforms. Like, this is really one of those things that you're going to customize this and take it to, like, I love the old school California black and gold license plates. That's just the extra touch of things that just makes it better. And then you throw into, the tailpipe beam, all the other things. We got some lowdown from Kelly. You need to watch that episode of the Toy Box Chronicles and go over there and support this car, because this is the kind of thing that we want to see constantly done. We're always asking for vehicles, and when we're asking for vehicles, they're giving us vehicles. But I did not expect something like this from the price range. And again, like, it very reasonable pricing, $185 out the door, with shipping included. And that's not taxes, because everything in the world's taxed. So make sure that you put that down. But this is just an amazing vehicle, amazing team that built it. We were so thankful that Kelly took the time out to just, come and chat with us. And it won't be the last time we're chatting with them, because I'm looking forward to all the great stuff that they're making. And, every now and then you say there's something that we're going to champion. We're going to champion the Bandito all the way through the process. But this is available for pre-order right now on oddfrogentertainment.com. I would suggest you check it out.
And if you're worried about whether or not the quality is going to be good, it's important to note that, like, Gentle Giant Studios is a big player in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they're providing the service for manufacturing, I think that's a big win. Yeah. So there's a lot of exciting things about this too. So yeah, if you haven't done it, head over and get that.
Yeah, no, this is one of those where it's like, again, you got to give credit where credit's due. It's, one of those things. So now we're going to end the night with some things that hopefully these companies can do a little bit better, because again, we've gone through the thankfulness, but we're going to be thankful that hopefully next year common sense will come to some of these companies' minds. Let's run with the company that we will not name, that was Heka. and customer service is key. I don't care what it is, what kind of business that you're running. If you don't take care of the customers, then you're at fault every time. There used to be that rule, the customer's always right. Remember, it was the golden rule. Well, somehow these companies have forgotten that. And this is exactly what happened with this company. One, to issue out threats. Two is to basically just, look, to purchase from this company is not cheap.
No.
This is not like a Marvel Legends or anything else like that. You get $50 or more everything that you have. They're throwing in like play sets for $300, $400, $500. And to the disrespect and not just on one item, but now we found out this week that it's two. And there's customers that can't get a hold of customer service for items that they ordered 6, 7, 8 months ago. That's something that definitely needs to change, Chet. And it's one of those things that kind of like burns me up, and it gets one of those, you need to do better, NECA. You need to do better. What do you feel, Chet?
Yeah, I mean, it's garbage. I'm not a firm believer, as someone that's a customer of many things. I'm not a firm believer in the customer's always right. However, I'm a firm believer in you should listen to your customers and help them with whatever they need to. And I think that, there are customers that are going to complain about things just to complain, and you can't get over that.
Yeah.
But that's where the customer is right. Like, they have the right to complain. They have the right to bitch, moan, whatever they want to do. What I have a problem with is when you put it on the customer like it's their fault. Your dumbass has messed up shipping. Like, you messed up shipping. Shut the hell up. It's your fault. It's not it's not our fault. So when you're saying things like we'll give you $100 credit, but only if we get it and when we receive, it's like I don't want $100 credit to your stupid shop when I know you're not going to send me shit.
Yeah.
Right. And then they can continue to blame it on the customer, only to have to eat crow again because they messed up with the Beetlejuice baby stuff. And it's like, here we are. This is probably our fault again, right? Like this is our fault. Like here's the thing that I suggest they do. Eat crow, go back and apologize for all the stupid shit you said. Give it some time, stop producing figures, get your shit together and go back, because I'm going to tell you right now, dude, you pissed off all of the people that buy your products, and we don't buy them for kids, we buy them for ourselves. And it's paused my collecting. Like there was a few figures I wanted to buy, and I'm just like, dude, I'm cool. Like I don't need it. I'm cool. There's some other brands now. I could take my NECA money and move it into Mafex. I can move it into Slideshow. I can move it into Figure Arts. Like there's so many different, whatever that's coming out. That's like Mondo. I can move into Mondo's making great figures. Mondo hasn't messed up, shame. It's a bummer, man. It really is. And I, while I'm, like I said, I'm not a firm believer in customers always right. And I've spent 20 plus years in customer service. I do understand that the customer always has a point and always has something that the customer always needs to be heard. And I think that that's where people mess up the idea that they're always right. If you're never listening to your customer, well, then you're not going to be successful. So the customer always needs to be heard. This was a whole nother level of just petty, like bullshit. And I have no idea how the fuck anybody in that it could be. I don't understand how they're selling anymore, because people, if you go and read the comments on this shit, it's like, hey, screw the Donatello shit. I ordered stuff, like my friend we both ordered at the same time the San Diego Comic-Con exclusive Ninja Turtles. I have them back over here. I think they're like right there. I think they're great figures, right? I got mine like a week after Comic-Con. He got his at the end of October. And he didn't even get notified that they shipped. He just got them at the end of October. And it's like, in the comments, people were like, dude, I ordered like Earl Sinclair when it came out and haven't gotten it, both of them, and you just go through and you read, and it's like, come on, man. Like, and I know I'm saying a lot, but I'm passionate about this. Look,
you're the customer, man. That's what they need to hear from.
It's like, do I think you make shitty products? Not one bit. I love NECA products, but knowing that you are not listening to the customer is not being heard, and then your ass is blaming shit on them and getting upset and threatening people because they don't want to send back something you fucked up. That's not anyone's. That's your problem. Shut the hell up. That's your problem. That's on you. Guess what? You lost out on it. Now you need to go and make more and send it to the people that paid for it, instead of telling everyone, if you don't send it, then somebody doesn't get it. No, shut the hell up. Part of doing business, part of your money that you've been making. And if you're not profitable as NECA, if you are not profitable on the shit you're making, then cut some people's pay so you can start making money, and go back and retool that shit and send it out to people that didn't get it, because it's not our fault. Shut the hell up. You want to offer me $100 to send that shit back to you when I could sell it now for, well, I mean, probably not now, but I could have sold it for
a week ago.
A week ago before this, I could have sold it for like double the cost. Like, use your brain. You're not using your brain. You're just taking into account that you have this mass like client base, and you're not thankful for that shit. You have no gratitude. You have no, there's nothing there that speaks to any level of morality at that fucking company. And that's part of the problem. Is like, you make a great fucking product. You do. I think NECA figures have some of the best articulation, best paint, best feel. Size is fantastic. The IPs you guys get is like off the hook. You did the most recent one with all of the like horror kids, and like you make a great product, but you're run by fucking morons. And I'm sorry, like, you cannot act this way and then bitch when you're not making money, because nobody cares. You shot yourself in the foot.
Yeah.
Like, no one cares. You said thanks for all your money all the time, and it's your fault. Now it's hey, Mr. Guy that barely had enough money to buy the first one. You're the asshole and you're the reason why he's not getting it. Hey, Mr. Storm, because I screwed up and sent you two. Chet Maddox doesn't get his. I hope you fucking feel good.
Yeah.
It's like that's no.
It's
I
a
feel
guilt
great.
trip. And also it's like, but to do it once, but to do it twice, there's a difference. First time, it's an accident. Second time, there runs into a problem. And this is a consecutive problem when the whole Beetlejuice baby situation came out. I said, okay, wait a minute. How can you go from 2 weeks that you're doing this? So there's a problem, and it's a problem. And then also the way that they were complaining, you can tell that NECA's not profitable, because profitable companies don't do this. They don't throw out threats and situations. But when you're facing maybe something colossal and behind the scenes that we don't know of, this is the kind of tension and scenario that goes out. And it just was not a good look, and it was disappointing, But hey, what can we expect from these corporations?
And
speaking,
you copy and pasted the mistake.
Yeah, just edited out the point and put in something else in there.
I've never fucked up and been like, I'm gonna do it again and use the same excuse. You copy and pasted the same mistake. Let that sink in as you're buying your NECA shit. They copy and pasted the same mistake.
Yep. And one last item on the night and everything
I'm sorry about that.
No. Hey man, that's the way it's supposed to go. We're gonna hit one more.
I'm pretty nice for the most part. Okay. But as like one of the world's top toy reviewers and on America's Toy Podcast, you guys need to understand I'm a prick. by default I am, and I'm totally fine with that. I'm okay. I eat it. It's fine. But you watch me because you know I'm real. And here's the problem. This stuff with NECA, cool, man. And we got another problem. I'm leading into the Hasbro problem we got right now. Okay.
And it's a problem that I've seen. It's been popping up more through people's Instagram feeds or their X or
people we know, like, privately. Yeah.
Everyone, we were excited when in the summer they teased it and they said, well, we're going to push this out later in the year. I had a feeling that something like this was going to drop before the end of the year, and it did. And at first there was a lot of excitement, and then you thought about the timing and the dates. And then we're going to talk about the Ghostbusters HasLab, the Ecto-1 and the Ecto-1A conversion of it, and the pricing. Was this something that was really intelligent to do at the end of the year where you have an adult collectors? Because that Ecto-1, no child's playing with that Ecto-1. Like I said, that's the major item right there. How smart was it when you have fathers, uncles, hardworking individuals to take care of family and whatever, that you drop something like this and in November, just because you messed up because you couldn't get it out and let's be honest, it started off with the Star Wars playset that skyrocketed everything else that messed up all year. But then you dropped this in November, and at first there was a lot of excitement. People were really happy about this. And then I started seeing people like, look, man, for personal reasons, I can't run with this. Like, there's a difference between family members getting presents and not. People are talking about, like, at the end of the year, how hard it was. And I think it was, like I said, again, it's a nice looking vehicle. The smart thing that I'm going to stress to these companies is no more dropping big items in the fourth quarter. And Hasbro's been guilty of this, not just of this. If anybody has checked any of their orders, a lot of stuff that was supposed to be shipping in like February and March just dropped.
No, they shipped that shit early to get their money in.
Yeah, they dropped a lot of that stuff in in November, and it wasn't supposed to show up for months. Do I think this is gonna go? It's gonna go. Yeah, it's gonna pass. There's gonna be people pass, but there's a lot of people passing on purchasing this as well.
Yeah, like this is a scenario, right? So Yeah, I'm sure there's people out there that are like, oh, whatever, $3.99, $3.49 is no big deal, whatever. And that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. It's just that would it kill you to push this out like 5-10 more days? Like would it really kill you? Would it have killed you to do it like into the new year? Because people would have been able to do that. But
Yeah.
here's the problem that I have with it. It wasn't that I didn't want to buy it because of the funding time frame. That is a big majority of it now. And the reason why it became majority of it now is because Hasbro shipped out a bunch of shit that wasn't supposed to ship for a long time.
Yeah.
And so when you pre-order on Hasbro, they don't take the money out until they ship it. And yes, I keep track of what I'm pre-ordering. I have the money. It's not a problem. However, not everybody's in that situation.
Mhm.
And you went out and you shipped a ton of shit that people were expecting next year.
Yep.
just to get it out. And great, that's fantastic for fanboys and dorks alike that like to collect and get their shit early. That's great. And I'm one of them. Who cares? Whatever. But you also lost my order for this HasLab because, like, honestly, the SoCal Joe show is coming up.
Yep.
And I would much rather have a his tank.
Yep.
I love Ghostbusters. I think Ghostbusters is fantastic. I want this, but we've talked about this, and you know my plan.
Yep.
I'm just gonna put the money aside to buy it at the $150 markup because I can buy it when I want it. Because I guarantee you, what are we at? We're at 9,885 backers right now. So I know that there's going to be a minimum of 12,000 of these out there, and I guarantee you a third of them don't want them, and they're buying it just for resale. And you're going to see, like what we talked about,
Yep.
and you pointed out to me, Facebook Marketplace
Yeah.
has a plethora of unopened HasLabs, from Jabba's Barge to GI Joe to like Galactus, Sentinel,
Yep.
and
Sentinel.
I mean, you like dragonflies are popping up.
Yep.
So it's not like you won't be able to get this. It's just, it sucks that it's released at a time where most people, it's make or break for whether or not their kids are going to get presents. Or maybe it's make or break. Like for me, I know I want to travel. I'd rather spend this money this time during the holidays to buy a plane ticket and fly somewhere to visit somebody than I would to buy something that I'm not going to get for a year. And for some reason, by the way, which is total BS, you can't ship these HasLabs on time, but you can ship all the other shit super early.
Yeah, sure. Well, I think one of the aspects is, again, anything past October, you should not have a HasLab.
Correct.
As a
I
company
agree 100%.
guideline, you should say nothing past that. Let's not move in the fourth quarter. Second, this would have been smarter if you would have, announced this in January for a February purchase. And I think that would curb it, because I've seen way more "I'm not purchasing this" than the people purchasing it. It's a luxury item. That's what it is.
Hear me out on this.
Yeah.
You knew that Dragon Man was really successful.
Yes.
Okay. So you launched a Sentinel, and that's super successful.
Yeah.
So why are you doing this? Why not just make this the pre-order to pay?
Yeah.
Right? Because then you wouldn't take the money out until next year, and I guarantee you would have got more people to buy it. And there's no levels on this anymore, by the way, which people don't understand. There's no stretch levels. They had it, and they were like, "Oh, no one really gives a shit that much that quick," we thought. And it's like, I guarantee you, people didn't back it because of the time that is coming out.
Yeah.
That's why it didn't. The Rattler went fine. It slowed down in the end, but it was fine.
Well, it's like, I was on the Sorlac Toy Chest this Monday, and they do it every week, and I'm always on that show as well. And the one thing that Darth Moocher said, which was extremely smart, and also I think Tommy said the same thing from the Blitz Transmissions, was they're not going to, this is it. They're not going to make any more Ghostbuster, related figures or anything, because the Plasma series, didn't really do that well. They stopped that, and then they brought this out. They're not going to do any more Ghost or anything else. What's the next? They're going to do a giant Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, because that's about all that's left out of that scenario. But it's not like it's going to be a line that's going to build itself. I think this ends and dies with Ecto.
Yeah.
And, because, I don't think Afterlife is going to sell well, because I know they had a Sprinter van, but I don't think that that's something that's going to sell well in that line. So this is it. So you're rushing this because you messed up early in the year with the whole Cantina that was late, and then that coattailed and made the Rattler late, which that also made this thing push out instead of Ghostbusters. They have all these days of the year. They've got, the May with Star Wars. They've got June with Yo-Jo, and then they were supposed to also have late June, early July for this, and they messed up and they brought that out. But now, because of these actions and situations, you're dropping something on fans, and FOMO is real. And there's a lot of people out there, and I'm going to tell people right now, if you feel like you don't want to buy this, look, there isn't an anxiety or something. Sometimes you're like, I'm thinking, and it's a hard thing. It's not a hard thing, man. You don't need this. You're going to live. If you don't buy it, it has life not sitting on your shelf. You're not dying tomorrow. You're okay.
You have literally at minimum a year.
Yeah.
And you could just put $100 away a month for 5 months. And when it hits the streets and people realize that they don't want it, and you still feel like you want it, you'll have the $500 to go cover the cost of this, only to find out that by the time they release this, nobody's going to care about it again.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Like I said, again, this is our thankful show, and hopefully, like I said, these bad contributors, they do. Now, look, did they do some things great? Absolutely. Hasbro did a lot of things great this year.
Yep.
Did NECA do some things great? Absolutely. We're thankful for the stuff that they did. These are the things that they can improve on. Start listening to your customers and start paying attention to your customers' pocketbooks, because, some of these luxury items, you can run yourself out of business, basically forcing luxury items down. So 2025, do better, Hasbro. You're doing to it. NECA, do a little bit better. You can work on this, and like I said again, it's always fun when we have these shows on. We're hoping that the day before Thanksgiving, you guys are having a good time listening to us. And again, we appreciate everyone that's listening to the show. We appreciate everyone that basically takes their time out to watch ourselves. And we're going to take this moment to give you a little something extra special, because since it is something to be thankful for, sometime in 2025, early 2025, we're going to launch something that's going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a toy box, but we're going to do something in a different time frame and a different situation. Chet, do you want to make that announcement now? You want to give them something a little extra to be thankful for?
Yeah, we've realized that morning shows all suck. And so we've decided that we're going to do it better. And it may happen sooner than we think, because we're paying attention to this stuff, and it's painful. And it's called Good Morning Toy Box, a toy talk poll. And so, I'm excited about it.
Yep.
It's going to be great. Like I said, it is Good Morning Toy Box, Toy Talk Live. It's going to be awesome. It's going to take place Friday mornings at 10 a.m. Pacific, whatever Eastern. And it's going to be a recap of the week, and we're excited about it. Don't know if we'll have any guests, but we may have some co-hosts, but who knows?
Yeah.
So we're excited about that. Also, happy to announce this. We'll also make this announcement. Yeah. I know there's a lot of like customizers out there. There's a lot of people that want custom things. You have the ramen racer or the ramen toy vans coming. You have the Banditos coming. I'm just gonna say it, if you're cool with that.
Yeah, go ahead.
But we have now a customization arm of SKN and Toy Box Chronicles, and it's called Studio 112. So we are excited about this. This is headed up by one of our very good friends at KS Customs. We're excited about it. More on that to come. We will be discussing that. There's a lot of projects we have coming that are going to be hitting pretty heavy. I'm excited about it, sir.
Absolutely. And I think a rebranding of the plastic paparazzis is coming. We got Got some
Yeah.
stuff rolling on that too. So a lot of great stuff coming to the channel. Of course, if you're watching us and you're not watching Friday night, what are you doing, man? Come on, there's a Friday show. It's called Pixel Plastic and Ink and everything. And then you saw in the beginning through the countdown all the other great stuff through our live streams and everything. The Fallen Fed on Wednesday night, Toybox Chronicles on Wednesday night, and you end your night with the Sorelak Digest podcast, or like we like to call the best damn Star Wars podcast on YouTube.
Period.
Blessed to have those guys in the fold. Looking forward also to December 6th. Keep that marked on. We did it in the summertime, and now we're going to do it at the end of the year. We're doing a year-end kind of like complete perspective of everything else that's going on through comics, films, and toys, but we're doing a double cast this Friday, December 6th. With the Sorelak Digest podcast. We will be on at our normal time. Pixel Plastic Ink will start the night off, and the Sorelak guys will be on our show. And we're going to talk about everything and anything and all the rest of the crazy stuff. And Chet's got some stuff planned. What else you got, Chet?
And after that show, shortly after that show, those of you that do not know, we had the box office graveyard award show that will be coming up for 2024 for the second annual version of that. I am getting the awards ready, my friend.
Oh yes, so got a double cast with Sorelak. Again, starts the night off on Friday, December 6th on the Shadow Nose Network with Pixel Plastic Ink at 7 o'clock. Then at 8 o'clock, we jump over to the Sorelak Digest podcast, and to end the year, and it always is going to be end the year, there's going to be the Box Office Graveyard Awards special, and we're going to laugh it up. If you didn't see last year's, there was a lot of predictions we made that fell into the next year, and I'm sure we got some grand stuff at the end of the year, so those are always awards. It is the one award show that people don't want the award to.
Yeah, correct.
So, man, again, it's like, from our family to yours, I'm just going to say, everyone have a great Thanksgiving. We will be live because obviously we're not, but we're probably in the chat talking with you. But we will be live next week, back to the regular live stream kind of format. And Mr. Maddox, any closing words, any words of wisdom on this Thanksgiving Eve to give our fellow people on the network?
Don't eat so much you get sick, okay? Just don't do that, because that's not good. Like, if you want to eat a lot, space it out. Be thankful for it. And hey, more importantly than being thankful, show some gratitude, because no one does that anymore.
Yeah.
And without gratitude, everyone sucks. Just life is crap if you don't have gratitude. But yeah, anyways, I'm Chet Maddox. You don't stop chasing that plastic dragon. And what is important is that you don't tell your loved one about your plastic dragon problem. But until next time, sir, it has been a pleasure hanging out with you tonight, and looking forward to Friday's show as well. So we will talk to everybody soon. Toodles.